And I don't know. I feel like my biggest criticism would just be, the lightsaber fights in the early days of Star Wars were, and we're going to talk more about saber fights later. I'm not sure if I left it in your notes or I took it out because I didn't want to spoil it. But
Let me check.
I have some criticism for for pretty much all lightsaber fights, except for Ray Parks. He has the best lightsaber fights. And it's just that they were not skillful whatsoever, especially in those first three movies. They were very, very just swing, and you see him purposely go up the block because it's very obviously choreographed, and it's not very convincing. Essentially, it did its job, and it really conveyed the story, and it made you feel the weight of the situation, but it didn't have much.
I disagree heavily with that.
It didn't have much weight to it, in my opinion. I had a feeling you were.
I disagree far heavily with that. I feel as though no, because even even Obi-Wan versus Vader in Episode 4, they were fairly realistic as far as sword fights go, because they were based on kendo and like Japanese sword fighting. They were, for movie fight scenes, they were fairly realistic.
No, for me, I wasn't talking about realism by any means. I mean, it's.
Oh no, I was talking about realism.
It's a sci-fi
Plus,
show.
it's just like technology limitations.
It's about space wizards. I'm not looking for necessarily. I'm not necessarily looking for realism. I'm just looking for something a bit more. I mean, it was okay. Like I said, it wasn't bad. It was just okay. It didn't really do anything for me. It did what it needed to do. It showed the weight of the situation. These people are fighting with these swords that can cut through anything, and they're both skilled at what they're doing because neither of them are cutting each other. But for the most part, every lightsaber fight equates to them deliberately aiming for the other person's lightsaber and never really aiming at the person.
That's a lot more. I still disagree more with that. That's a lot more prevalent in the sequel trilogy and in the prequel trilogy than it is in the original trilogy.
They get more. It's a bit more grounded, and it's way slower paced because they're watching each other, because they aren't just swords. Because in real life, even you fighting somebody with a knife, you would be super wary and slow, and you guys would be circling each other and taking it super slow. But in this case, it's a sword that can cut through literally anything. So they were being even more cautious, and because of that, they were being slow. They were making deliberate strikes, and they were just being super careful. And my criticism isn't that it isn't realistic. It's that the first movie. Here's the thing about the first movie. I'm not really too worried about the fights in the first movie because it was the first three movies. Because it was the first three movies, and and they weren't really worried about the kind of like there weren't as many Jedi alive in that first movie as there was in the in the prequel trilogy. So you only had Obi-Wan, Vader, and Luke. They were only people using lightsabers. And when Luke was Yoda wasn't using the lightsaber in the original three movies.
He wasn't using a lightsaber. I don't even think in canon or in Legends in between. I don't think he was using his lightsaber either.
Yeah, when you only have those three people who fight the way that they fight, the only people using lightsabers, it makes sense that Luke would adopt kind of a similar style of more realistic, slower, more meaningful, and like paying attention to your opponent type fighting. And then when we go into the prequels, it gets way too flaily for my taste. It's too much of them doing all of this and just swinging their lightsabers directly at the other person's lightsaber, and I wasn't a fan of it. The fights that I like the most are Darth Maul versus Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon at the end of the episode 1, and then Maul versus Ahsoka and the Clone Wars. Those are my two.
No, we're talking about prequel. If we're talking about prequel lightsaber fights,
yes, that's technically a prequel like lightsaber fight because it takes place during Order 66.
It takes place during Episode 3. I don't count it as a prequel lightsaber fight.
And it literally takes place in that time.
I don't count it. No, if I count prequel lightsaber fights, I'm talking about the movie.
I'm counting it as just. I'm not just counting. I'm counting it as a Ray Park lightsaber fight specifically, because what I'm trying to point out is the way Ray Park fights is a good mixture between the like what's the word kind of, I guess, I don't know, over exaggerated kind of movements while still having weight to it and being obviously skillful. Where whenever any other Jedi or Sith fights in Star Wars, other than Dooku was more, he was a bit slower, but the first time he flipped, I was like, why is he flipping? Why is this old man doing a
Because he's a Jedi.
No.
Or well, he's not a Jedi, he's a Sith. But like,
when Dooku did a front flip, I said, why? He didn't need to do a front flip, and it made him look like an idiot. And you're not going to pretend like it didn't make him look like an idiot.
It didn't. You made him look like a badass.
That old man doing a front flip for no reason, it made no sense. All he had to do, it would have made him look like even more of a badass if he slowly walked down the stairs and then brought out his lightsaber and then approached Obi-Wan and Anakin. But instead, he flipped over the banister and landed on his feet with his lightsaber out like an idiot. And that's one of my biggest problems, the flipping. I hate the flipping so much. They need to stop doing all those unnecessary flips. They're ridiculous and unnecessary. They're doing flips for no reason. Especially
that's the thing, though.
Especially
in lore, in universe. If you look at the lore, of Star Wars, every Jedi and every Sith has a lightsaber style that they like. That's their style. What was it? Form 4, which is Ataru, which is what Anakin uses. It's what. By the way, if you ever question how much of a Star Wars nerd, like if you know me in real life and you ever question how much of a Star Wars nerd I am, this episode, the fact that I know what characters use what forms of lightsaber, I think okay. Anakin uses Form 4. Yoda uses Form 4, which is why he flips so much. I believe Luke also used a little bit of Form 4, and Qui-Gon used Form 4.
Here's what I feel about Form 4.
That's why they flip so much.
My biggest problem with the flips are, it's the same flip every time. They don't.
It is the same flip.
They don't switch up the flips. If they were like Nightwing doing a bunch of gymnastic stuff and looking cool, then I'd be like, oh, that's dope. But they don't. They do the same cannonball front flip every single time.
That's the reason, though. It's because it's all the same style. It's all the same lightsaber style. That's what they use. That's the same lightsaber style.
Yeah, but
that's why you notice a lot of the same strikes and a lot of the same.
That doesn't excuse the fact that they do the same flip every time. If there was variety in the flips, I'd probably be less upset at it. But they do the same stupid-looking flip every single time.
That's the point. That's the whole reason they do it, though, is because in universe it's the same style. It doesn't look stupid. It looks awesome.
It does not look awesome. I don't know.
It looks awesome.
Sword
if you were having a lightsaber fight with someone and they did that type of flip in the middle of a move, you'd want to stop fighting. You'd want to turn around and walk away. I know I would. I would just want to put down my lightsaber and walk away.
I would think they're idiots. I
would want to put down my lightsaber and walk away. Because anybody that has the confidence and the skill to pull off a front flip mid-combat and not get killed, I don't want to fight them.
Especially if they did it like 6 times. They're like, what are you doing? Sit still. Stop jumping. Why are you flipping?
No, I would, like, if they did that, no, I would leave. I would tell them they won. I would walk away.
Those flips are ridiculous, and I don't like them.
The flips are fine. The flips are fine.
No, they're not. They're stupid.
They are. They're absolutely fine.
Lightsaber sucks. And you're not about to convince me otherwise. And you're not about to try.
It doesn't.
No, listen to me. You're not about to pull some BS and say it's Form 4. No, dude, it sucks. It honestly just sucks. It's not good. The only good ones are Ray Park's because he actually.
They're not.
Yes, they are. The rest of them suck. The only good ones are Ray Park's, and the very last one at the end of Revenge of the Sith with Obi-Wan and Anakin. The Battle of Heroes.
That one is amazing. That one is top tier.
That one is good, but it's still full of a lot of stupid moments.
It is. It's full of a lot of stupid moments. Most namely when they literally twirl their lightsabers around in like the little lotus position and don't hit each other. That was stupid. But
we both sit there looking into each other's eyes and go.
But again, there's an in-universe reason for that too. That's the thing. That's what I love about Star Wars. Is the in-universe reason for everything.
The
Like
in-universe reason
everything.
does not justify bad choreography.
It justifies bad choreography in my eyes. If I go back and I read or see something and they explain it, that's perfectly
Nothing
fine.
justifies bad choreography unless the person is a bad fighter. That's the only time it justifies it. When the character is purposely meant to look like an idiot. Like if it was like Dan Hibiki from Street Fighter, then I'll be like, okay, that makes sense. Dan's an idiot. But it's not. These are trained professional fighters. They're Jedi. Here's the thing. I really want, just how Mandalorian is a Western, like in Star Wars universe, I want a samurai movie.
That's what Star Wars is.
Listen to me. I'm talking about like specifically. Listen, bro. I'm talking about like just like how the Mandalorian specifically makes itself out to be a straight up Western for the most part, most of the time. Something that's straight up a samurai film. I mean show, but within the Star Wars universe. And it doesn't even necessarily have to be a Jedi. It could just be some person with a vibro blade. Like.
I would be hurt if it was just a man with a vibro blade running around killing everybody. I would be mad about that. I would be mad.
That would be kind of funny. But preferably, I would want it to be a Jedi, and for them to just.
I would be so mad. Like you have the potential to have so many cool lightsaber fights, and you're gonna walk around here with a vibro blade. Get out! Just get out! No, I don't want.
If it wasn't even a Jedi or a Sith, it was just a person who found a lightsaber and got good with it.
No, I would like that. Actually, no, because now that I think about it, depending on the type of person.
Yeah, let's say it could be cool if it was just a person who like found a lightsaber from a Jedi that got killed or something, and
okay,
got good with
it. If they were like an Imperial guard, and like if they were one of like the Imperial Red Guards, that would actually be kind of cool. Because like if you look at the like the lore for the Imperial Red Guards, that's basically what they are.
See, you help story. It could be they used to be a Red Guard, but the Empire went down. And this takes place like around the same time the Mandalorian does, and
that's basically Kir Kranos.
And I don't know who that
is. Kir Kranos was an Imperial Red Guard. He was like one of the best. And that's basically Kir Kranos.
Make him a samurai.
That's basically. Well, I mean, he carried around a blaster. I mean, samurai used guns. Yeah, like once guns started to be.
Yeah, I would say
guns really changed the warfare in Japan. Like they changed the face of
warfare. Started to become a thing. They were like, "Oh, look at this! This is much easier. I don't have to come near you."
Shoots fire and death. Bang.
They literally.
But, yeah.
Asia was one of the first places to have gunpowder.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really want just a samurai I was about to say movie, but show specifically in the vein of Mandalorian, how Mandalorian specifically aims to be a Western. Star Wars show that aims to be a samurai movie.